Hey, what's going on guys, it's James here and welcome to my review of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. One of my favourite games is Kirby Adventure Wii or Nightmare in Dreamland. That was a game that really opened my eyes and made me see that there were more games than just Mario. I played that game for hours with my friend and my sister while we were in California back in 2013. So despite Star Allies only being the fourth game in the series that I've played extensively, I do still have a huge appreciation for the series. However, this latest entry left me feeling both very satisfied and disappointed. The story in this game involves dark hearts falling from the sky which turn people evil, and Kirby has to stop them. Nothing special, but then again it doesn't really need to be. The gameplay is where Kirby games do shine the brightest, and this game does much of the same as previous entries. As usual, Kirby can suck up enemies to take their abilities, but now he can also throw a heart which turns them into a friend. You can have up to 3 friends at a time, making a party of 4, and the game is structured around using these different friends and their different abilities to pass the obstacles and clear the level. You can even unlock characters like King Dedede and Meta Knight and use them as friends, as well as more being constantly added with updates. The AI performs well most of the time, knowing when they need to be used and also being able to hold their own against enemies. You can even combine abilities by fusing a weapon ability with an elemental ability to make things like fire swords, ice hammers, and even electric yo-yos. One thing that's always been great about Kirby is how there are so many copy abilities that you'll be sure to find one that fits your playstyle. Trying out all the different copy abilities is always a good time, and I think my favourite new ones from this game would probably be Spider and Artist. In some levels you can find these platforms which transform your team into a new form of mobility, like a big wheel or a bridge. These don't really add a whole bunch to the level, but they are still fun to play and satisfying to watch. The graphics in this game are brilliant, and while the characters look great, the backgrounds have a level of detail that can't go unmentioned. Music is also pretty good. Nothing very memorable, but it fits the game and it sounds nice. While this game is really fun, it doesn't feel like it's as fun as it could be. Going back to gameplay, the levels often feel quite restricting and like they aren't allowing you to fully explore your abilities. The puzzles are also so easy you can barely even call them puzzles. And the dashing is also still a problem for me. I don't really know why, but I just find it hard having to get used to tapping the stick really fast in a certain direction to run. Somehow it's worse than it was in Planet Robobot, which I don't really understand. The combat is fine, except for most of the boss battles. They have an amount of health, which would make sense if Kirby were facing them alone, but with 4 players they go down in a ridiculously short amount of time. The boss battles are actually a great example of how easy this game is. This game doesn't even include like a hard mode or anything, which would actually change my opinion of the game a lot. Kirby games are known for being easy, but this is by far the easiest one that I've ever played. I think part of that goes back to the level design and how lackluster it is. I think this would have been more forgivable if the game took place in a more interesting setting. The previous games on 3DS did a pretty good job of incorporating a more interesting setting, but this game goes back to basic dreamland exploration. It does get better as the game goes on. For instance, in one of the later worlds, you get to explore the whole universe, but all the levels themselves still feel like basic Kirby levels. The game also ends far too soon. I would recommend this game so much more if it was double the length. The game has only 4 worlds, and the first and second are quite short. I remember when I was on the 4th world, I googled how many worlds there were in the game, only to realise I was nearing the end of my adventure. Playing with friends is obviously how the game wants you to play it, and I'm sure it will be much more enjoyable then. This is just a personal problem, but not many of my friends are into Nintendo, let alone video games, and the one friend that I kind of pressured into playing this game with me got bored very quickly. So those are my thoughts on Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. If you have someone else to play with, this game is so much fun, it's definitely worth it. However, if you're playing alone, it's still a lot of fun, but you just simply have more fun if you were playing with someone else. Overall, Kirby Star Allies is an adorable, incredibly fun, but incredibly flawed game. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe down below. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, they are linked in the description, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.